bizarre snakeheads and green puppies, to gigantic icebergs and super spiders.
This is Trending Tuesdays.
Now, our shout out going to UK Let's Rise Together, and the comment is actually a reference to a previous installment of Trending Tuesday, so we're glad it inspired you to subscribe, which, by the way, is easily done by clicking the red button down below. Hope you like this Tuesday's edition, UK, and thanks to you and to everyone for all that epic support. Cheers! Number 6. The whole truth. Now, do sites like bubbles, sponges, or golf courses scare you? If so, you might have a fear of holes, and that fear is known as trypophobia, or repetitive pattern phobia. That's a condition where clusters of round shapes or holes can evoke feelings of revulsion that are strong enough to make one want to regurgitate. Now that's different from most other phobias, which usually elicit strong feelings of fear or dread. But the phobia may serve a vital function in human survival mechanics. Researchers have recently found evidence indicating that it could be connected to a deep-rooted anxiety concerning infectious diseases and parasites. Earlier research has suggested that the condition might be linked to round shapes found on toxic creatures, like the venomous blue-ringed octopus. Well, now experts think it may have more to do with an evolutionary response that alerts people to avoid sources of infectious diseases. And that's because many such diseases, like measles and smallpox, can cause clusters on the skin, and ectoparasites like botflies and ticks can cause effects that are similar in appearance. So, maybe the phobia is working to keep you in good health. What do you think? Iceland. Did you know icebergs could weigh 1 trillion tons? Well, you know what? Experts say that they can, and one of those massive formations recently snapped off the Larsen C ice shelf in the West Antarctic. Experts say that the event, which is known as calving, is a common occurrence, but what's uncommon is the size of this particular iceberg. At over 2,200 square miles, it's nearly the size of the state of Delaware. Due to that immensity, glaciologists think it could potentially pose a threat to maritime traffic. While the iceberg floats like an ice cube in the water, it's not expected to affect sea levels as it melts. But the real threat is posed by the inland glaciers. Ice shelves function like enormous breaks that keep glaciers from flowing directly into the ocean. If glaciers now held in place by Larsen C were to fall into the Antarctic Ocean, experts say that global watermarks could rise by some 4 inches. House of the Dead. Now that sounds kind of like the title of one of those zombie apocalypse video games, or maybe a movie. But a 5,000-year-old burial mound was found in southwest Britain, located midway between the Avebury Stone Ring and Stonehenge. Some experts think this ancient site could be a grave that holds the remains of people who lived nearby when those circles were built, including the ancestors of the people who built Stonehenge. Now looking at an image of the site, it appears like a huge stone slab that's set inside a pit that's about the same shape. Or you could also take it for a bizarre crop circle, except in this case it would be more of a crop square of sorts. The site is actually made up of 2 ditches that flank a central building. Researchers say the structure could have been covered with a mound that was made of soil from the ditches. It was first spotted in a farmer's field by aerial photographers. The monument gained a flat appearance due to thousands of years of soil plowing. That has prompted researchers to continue digging to search for ancient features that are cut deep into the ground, when Britain's first monument builders are thought to have appeared. Mint condition. Now admit it, if you saw a green puppy like the one in the picture, you'd likely think it was some sort of a digital trick, or maybe it was the canine way of celebrating St. Patrick's Day. But a dog in the UK was actually born green, and it had nothing to do with Photoshop, nor St. Patrick's Day, or envy, for that matter. The green coloration is the result of a bile pigment that was mixed in with the mother's amniotic fluid, the fluid that protects the pups while in the womb. Experts say it's an unusual occurrence that has only been documented in the world 3 times previously. The dog's owner says the color is fading fast now, though, and will soon be gone. But she did name the pup Forest as a tribute to the unusual tint. So, do you think that was a good choice, or could you maybe have come up with something even better? Super spiders. Darwin's box spiders were recently featured in some wildlife programming from BBC Earth that spotlighted the arachnid's amazing abilities. Darwin's box spiders are a species of orb weaver spider that was first discovered in 2009 in Madagascar. The females have the ability to shoot strands of silk in a continuous flow that can form bridges across the water to catch insects like mayflies. That's due to orb webs measuring about 6 feet wide that are spun there to catch the prey. Those bridges can span some 80 feet long over rivers, and that makes it the biggest spider web in the world. Experts say it can sustain such a great distance because the spider silk is stronger than steel, and there are indications that it could be the world's strongest biological material. But you know, for constructing such an enormous project, the arachnid engineers are quite small. The females are only about as big as your thumbnail, but the males are smaller still. They're only about a third of that size. Snake head games. Alright, this is one of those segments where we are obliged to issue the standard viewer discretion advisory. So, consider yourselves duly advised. And you would have to say that the sight of a decapitated snakehead thrashing about on your floor might provide one a bit of a fright. In fact, if you saw the reptile's noggin locomoting about of its own volition, you might very well wonder if you had not stepped into the middle of a horror movie. Or maybe you'd wonder if someone was pulling a prank so they could get your horrified expression and post it online. Well, a family in Texas did in fact experience this situation, but it wasn't because of a movie or because of a prank. Now, it happened when kids found a venomous cottonmouth snake, or black water moccasin, lurking in a flower pot in the garden. Unable to find a knife, the father grabbed a pair of tree loppers and sliced off the serpent's head. Luckily, the cottonmouth did not have a chance to strike, since the venom can be potentially fatal to humans. For a few moments after, the snake's head continued to writhe and thrash about on the floor and flash its fangs, but it stopped moving after the animal's nerve endings expired, and it died in peace, or in pieces, as the case might be.
This is Trending Tuesdays.